We've become so busy, running here, running there, strapped into a roller coaster taking us for a wild ride. Unfortunately, the result can have profound effects on our physical, psychological, and emotional well-being. Much of the population is plagued with diseases like cancer, diabetes, or cardiovascular disease, stress, causing disorders like PTSD, panic attacks, and emotional distresses. The list seems endless, and many feel hopeless. Somewhere in all of this busyness, we have forgotten to tend to our souls, and so our bodies and minds become overwhelmed, out of balance, harmony, health, and inner peace.
Relationships, injuries, depression, domestic violence, drug addiction, not mine, but family members. There has been a lifelong journey to overcome and to show up and be stronger my whole life, and always having to be the one that kind of pulls it together. I ran out of steam, I ran out of strength several years ago. About 15 years ago, I really knew that I couldn't do this quest anymore, and I had to go in to get out.
Well, I knew I needed to have tools to help me deal with my anxiety. And as I was trying to retrain my own nervous system and my own mind that just never shut off, and I no longer had Xanax. And on a personal note, I used to be on a lot of pharmaceuticals. For about 13 years, doctors had me on you name it, every antidepressant, every anti-anxiety, Xanax, Ativan, sleeping pills. I also took them with Red Bull and wine, to be honest. I knew I needed to change. If you look at today's society, most people's nervous systems and adrenals are on overload. They're just used to being highly stressed, because most of us, not most of us, but it's not uncommon to have a very stressful childhood. And then generally what happens is that energetic pattern, you develop a warped coping mechanism, per se, and then that just becomes your norm, and then that continues on into your adulthood, and then generally that even goes, it ended up going into my marriage.
I've got a lot of emotions held in my muscles. I have had some injuries that are old injuries, and even my bones are out of whack. And some of my muscles are very, very short, and some are overused.
Western medicine and technologies have brought many comforts to all of us, and yet have been unable to bring healthier resolutions to our way of life. In general, our ability to heal falls victim to economic dynamics prescribing a band-aid approach to healthcare that tends to marginalize a cure or recovery, ultimately prolonging our ailments and anxieties, keeping us far from attaining physical well-being, inner peace, and spiritual redemption.
Coming from where I was, where I never stopped, my mind went 100 miles per hour all day long, to now I see the importance of just being able to catch your breath and just calm your mind, so then you can get your own intuition and your own clarity. It's like trying to find your car keys when you're all frazzled. You can't find your car keys because you're in a state of go, go, go.
It is a challenge for many people to break out of their thought patterns, especially belief systems that are imprinted from birth in families and cultures, whether they're religious or just the cultural norms that are required of someone to live in that community. And to realize that those are constructs. They are not the truth of who you are. You know, we birth babies and start telling them no, 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 no. And then they learn to say no to life. And to come away from the belief systems that we're raised with takes conscious effort. You have to first realize that you need to change your mind. And then you must learn how to change your mind. And then you have to realize that it's not really what you think, but how you think. It's the way we've been taught to think that is the challenge.
The power that we have as humans can create disease in the body or can release disease in the body. This is what we get to see when we look under the hood and look into the blood and say, wow, how am I participating with this? And look at how blood is listening to the host, finally seeing it itself, looking back, saying, you know, we can help you if you listen to us. We can actually make a few adjustments, and it can all be in feelings, thoughts, and emotions. It can be in inhalants. It could be in environmental. It can be in your food. Many people say you are what you eat. I don't believe you are. I believe what your body does with what you eat is what you are, and what you think, and all of those factors are like acid. If they're negative pouring in, they will affect your bioterrain. So we want to look at those things.
Our traditional care tends to treat only our physical symptoms, neglecting a holistic approach to our overall health and well-being. How can we tend to the body without tending to the mind and soul? In recent decades, however, the demand to find a panacea to treat these anxieties and diseases, utilizing a holistic path, have come to a new light. Alternative, holistic, and Eastern medicine practices present unique, effective, and economical approaches to treating the whole being, body, mind, and soul.
One other healing experience that I had just recently was the woman with the black feet. And she's been going to the doctor for a year and a half. She's paying $400 a month, and all the doctors are doing is watching her progression to the point now that she's actually at amputation candidate. I came to her home many times, watched this, and now she has staph infection because it's not getting better, and she's going to these hospitals regularly. So now she has a bacteria all over her legs, and her feet are black. Had the opportunity to pray for the apple cider vinegar over the hands in the water, asking for the help. Soak and immerse her legs and her feet, and voila, we killed the bacteria. And now with gloves, we did a little bit of reflexology to get the oxygenation, and there she is on the couch with the feet up, and what comes back? That pink, beautiful, fleshy looking foot. Simple steps with a little bit of aloe vera to the bacteria leg, to the skin, and she looks 300% better. This is healing. This is called the healing process, not the dying process. To leave an elder woman in that case going to see the doctor every month, paying $400 a month, and to end up in the status to the point of losing the foot, it's unacceptable. So in a simple fashion, we brought love, come with prayer, and when anybody is seeking healing, they can get it. They can get it by the intention of the seeking that.
Well, what happened to me years ago was very traumatizing, so I choose not to go into depth. But I do know that as a part of my recovery process, I didn't seek outside psychologists or outside therapy in any way. I believe that massage not only helps your circulation and your oxygen levels and your thought process, your mental thought process. I believe massages are very therapeutically and spiritually healthy for you. And I think that disease is how it spells. Your body is at dis-ease. And so in order to free myself of the stress that was caused by a diagnosis that I had had in the past, which was taken care of by doctors and physicians, there was also a mental and emotional state that had to be worked on too. You cannot eat an apple without finally getting to the core. And you cannot heal the outside being until you dig deep into the inside. And that's always where the best part is. In a truffle, in an apple, in a 50-50 popsicle bar that's orange on the outside, you can't wait to get to that vanilla. It's no different than the human body. You need to go on the inside and really get help there first. And once you do that, the outside's the easy part. And so I knew that physically God had spared me. There were things I had to do on this earth school. My kids needed their mother. But emotionally and mentally, there were things that the doctors couldn't do.
You know, it's all a part of personal transformation. You know, we just have to take the first step forward and realise there's many, many things for us to get involved in and experience in this life. It doesn't just have to be one way, it's every way. You know, so it's certainly integrating Western and, you know, Eastern medicine, it's everything.